Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Vedic Astrology Podcast, and probably the strangest place we've ever recorded the podcast. But it's one of those weeks, and so now I'm recording in IKEA. And it is time once again to turn our attention to each of the zodiac signs, each of the rashis. And as the sun enters each rashi this year, we've been taking the opportunity to learn more about that rashi and use the sun as a way to connect more deeply with that sign. And this month was no different. So now we have the sun entering into Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is a mixed fire sign, the third of our fire signs. So we've talked about Aries, where this impulse started. We've talked about Leo, where taking that impulse of energy from Aries, fire sign of Leo is mastering the kingdom, where we're going to create a kingdom for others that would benefit from this legacy that we're creating. That was Leo. And now here we find ourselves at the third fire sign, Sagittarius, where it becomes about teaching about it. Now that we've found out how light really works through this ecliptic journey from Aries, all the red signs. Last month we talked about Scorpio, and here we are in Sagittarius. Now we have something to teach. If we think about fishing, that Aries is that idea, I could learn to fish, and that's the impulse. I'm going to procure my own food, and whatever the consequences of that are, off I go. And then Leo is accumulating that fish. We have now gained enough mastery over fishing to be able to share that with others and become a leader. Help those who are less fortunate for themselves. Make everyone's lives better by our ability to lead and provide fish. But if we get to Sagittarius, then we're about that teach other people how to fish. We've realized what skillfulness is, and Bernie believes that everyone that if they learn how to fish will free everybody up to do their own thing. It's refined, this fire sign. It's the 9 signs, and we've been through quite a journey. We can think maybe of those first 4 signs has been an exploration of itself, and then from 5 to 8, we're transacting with others. It's our relationships with others in the world. And having come through Scorpio, and we can say about Scorpio that if we do Scorpio correctly, promote a friend with all. If the first 4 signs are a little bit about relating to the self, and the second 4 signs are about more those transaction relationships with things and with people. Now entering Sagittarius and all the way through to Pisces, we have that chance to be friends with all. So to build these much bigger communities, and it starts here with Sagittarius with this burning desire to teach, this passion to make people's lives better through knowledge, sharing the wisdom that we've gained. We can end people's suffering through teaching. And if we think back to those self-journeys, we're really asking and answering that question, who am I? How can I survive? Can I survive? In 5 to 8, maybe we're finding out what I have to offer, what I have to train, what these exchanges are. And now here we are in the spinal ball of the signs, and it becomes about giving back. It's a refined fire sign, and part of that we can see is because it's a dual sign or a mutable sign. It's on the corner. If we look at the chart in South Indian style, we're down at that bottom left-hand corner, and those mutable signs have both got fixed and cardinal energies here in dual. And I always think about that being the process improvement with our cardinal signs. We're just going to find out things by doing. And with the fixed signs, we have that chance to integrate. And everything that we've experienced through the cardinal signs is being processed internally. And here in the mutable signs, we get a chance now to implement those process improvements. What we have, why processed inside myself, we're ready to implement. How can I act now, having inculcated all of that experience? And the dual archetypes, we've got Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Fish. Gemini's got 2 human. Virgo's got a human and a boat. Sagittarius has got a human on a board. Pisces have the two push. So we see this dual nature of these four signs on the corner, these four mutable signs. And with that archetype in Sagittarius, we can think about it as being a human on a horse. I think helps us a lot. In some ways, it's the centaur that is part human, part horse, is another way to look at it. But if we think of it as the human on the horse, we really get that warrior sense, that truth warrior, legality to preach and to teach and to help people relieve their sufferings. So being so inspired that we're speeding along on this horse, and we've got a mission of truth, having gone through Scorpio. It's so important. Scorpio, so what we talk about at plumbing the depths of that inner dark space and finding out what is really true, because we've faced all of our demons. And so now we're coming up out into the external world again, and suddenly we can see the falsehoods, all of the things that we're doing to avoid their inner pain. And we're tongue with this fire sign passion to correct these falsehoods. We're a warrior of the truth. And it's so important because it's the rocket fuel that we need to get through Capricorn, right? We know that they're coming up to the 10th sign, to that earth sign with ruled by Saturn. It's really, I would say, whether the road, it's the great battle in the hero's journey. So this Sagittarius space is really important for creating the rocket fuel that is going to get us through this enormous reality obstacle with Capricorn. And we think of Sagittarius as the warrior on the horse with the arrow pointed high in the sky. And Jupiter also rules Pisces, right? So pointing to Pisces, pointing to that ultimate freedom, moksha. And here we're building the fire, faith, the passion to have enough speed, enough energy, enough belief to get through any obstacle. And in the body parts of the Lord, if some of you see my videos when I have my drawing of the ecliptic in my background, Sagittarius represents the gluteals, so that sort of lower hip where the legs are getting their power from. And you can think about even how humans stand up as these bipeds. Think of how we've transformed the use of those buttock muscles on an animal. Buttocks are, for all of us, buttocks are in charge of leg extension, so straightening the leg. But for most animals, that straightening of the leg would get them to the standing position that we are. We're in a standing position, so our gluteals have to do leg extension even behind the body. So we have these strong muscles that are promoting, supporting our walking, which is our action. And in a minute, when we get to Capricorn, as I said, rubber hits the road, we have to take action. That's the body part that relates to Sagittarius. And if you think about it supporting our standing, those buttock muscles, that part of the body gives us standing that gives us vision. We can see further when we stand up than when we're on all fours. So Sagittarius is also telling us about vision just even in this body part, the fact that it's supporting our ability to see further and have higher vision. But of course, it makes us unstable. Standing up makes us unstable. And Sagittarius spends running at a great height, but being very liable to fall over, especially if we focus so much on the future and this high vision where we want to go. If we can get tripped up by the things that are right here on the ground, Jupiter is not really looking down onto the earth, looking at this higher vision. So Sagittarius is where we can fall as well, having such a high trajectory and get tripped up, miss the obvious things. And this is also why Scorpio is so important, that we really, truly, deeply plumb the depths of the dark, so that our highest vision is very clear. And of course, it is human, like Gemini, like Virgo. These are the human archetypes. And this tells us that sign has this capacity for abstraction, for thinking about the world, for being able to create a world in the mind with which we can experiment with our thoughts and then implement to real world. Now, the other two human signs are ruled by Mercury, so they're quite interested in data and the material manipulation of the world. This human archetype is ruled by Jupiter, so its abstract nature is going to be about knowledge and philosophy and faith, wisdom. But as we're analysing all of that philosophy, This is where the Sagittarius liable to fall thing comes in, that we have to be careful. We're not inspired by the right philosophy. Otherwise, we can go racing off fully impassioned, fully in fire energy about a slightly incorrect or very incorrect philosophy. Our journey through Aries all the way through to Scorpio has hopefully helped us to purify our understanding of life, to have the most clear and accurate philosophy. Then that's what we can go off, all inspired to preach. It's really asking us, did we learn our lessons from Scorpio? And because it is a masculine sign, Sagittarius, it is active, but it's not about listening more. It's about doing this preaching. That's also why that warning is there. We really learned the lesson of all of Zodiac, and especially of Scorpio. And then I think the other thing to notice about Sagittarius is that it's sandwiched in between Mars and Saturn, isn't it? We've got Scorpio on one side and Capricorn on the other. So Mars on one side of this sign, Saturn on the other. And because of this beautiful balance and geometry of the ecliptic, the other Jupiter and Mars is also sandwiched between Saturn and Mars. So Saturn and Mars we think about as these two planets to solve problems in the world. Mars by taking action, and Saturn by enduring and persevering. Here we have in the middle of those two, whichever way you look at it, from Pisces or from Sagittarius, we have this inspiration. So we see how important it is to be inspired, to make faith and to have a vision when we want to solve our real world problem. Very special location in the ecliptic Sagittarius. Now, if we turn our minds to the point of view of each ascendant, what does the sun rule for each ascendant? And how can we notice the field of Sagittarius? What impact is it having on that ruler of that house? Let's think about the sun itself is a fire planet, and we have Sagittarius, the fire sign. They've both got this sattvic truth focus. And at the same time, they want to take action on inspiration. So there's quite a lot of alignment between the sun and Sagittarius. They also share that masculine energy as well. So this might be one of the signs where it is easier to connect with the sun's mission. So let's go through each ascendant as we do, because I'm out and about. We'll just keep it a bit briefer, a bit more brief. So if we start with Aries, and we think about the sun, we know that the sun is the fifth lord for all Aries ascendants. And the fifth lord has a mission around our creative legacy. What is it that we are uniquely going to create and offer to this world? For that reason, it's often associated with children, because it's the most fundamental, simple thing that you can leave that goes on beyond our lifetime is our children and passing on our DNA. So for that reason, it's something second. But it's also about investment and gambling. But it's a trinal house, so it's got all of those auspicious energies that are feeling in the flow of life. So if you're an Aries ascendant, it's naturally associated with these parts of life. And the solar month, Sagittarius, if it's transiting through what would be your ninth house as an Aries ascendant, we have a trinal combination. Fifth lord going through the ninth house by transit. And we know all about the energy of Sagittarius. We just spoke about that field. And we know that the ninth house is where we find being and what we're willing to devote ourselves to. To keep it simple for this month, why don't we reflect? We're an Aries ascendant. What is my highest vision for my creative legacy, for my creativity, for my children? How can I use this Sagittarius to lift the inspiration of my creative legacy? So that would be a reflection question for Aries. The Taurus ascendant, for Sun, is ruling the fourth house. And we know that the fourth house is all about our inner sanctuary. It's our home, it's our mother, and it's our contentment. It's a moksha house, the first moksha house in some ways that simple moksha that we get from truly being at home in itself. And it is also related to education and to transformation in the way that all moksha houses allow us to be free. Because when we're truly at home, then we truly belong and we truly feel free. So when we think about this mission of Kasana, the fourth lord, it will be transiting through a Taurus Ascendant 8th house. So again, you get two moksha numbers here. So quite inspiring, taking the energy, the field of Sagittarius, and how can they promote our liberation. So maybe we can take this vision ability of Sagittarius. What is the highest vision? We had for transforming our sanctuary, our inner sanctuary, our heart space, our connectedness and contentment. What's your highest vision for that space? Which could also be your home, your physical home as well. Okay, so that could be a reflection question for Taurus. For Gemini Ascendant, we find the Sun as the third lord, ruling friends and peers and hobbies and interests. That's a common house of exploration and enjoying what it is that we've come with a chance to play on the physical plane. And guess what? Following our theme, it's going into the 7th house, which is also a common house of exploring our relationship with others, our transactions with others. But the third lord will be transiting 7th house. So how can this third lord, its mission is around friends and our interests and hobbies. Perhaps it's looking at how can your interests be inspired by art. And friends become partners in something that you're interested in exploring together. So this vision of Sagittarius might give us an inspiration about our friends and peers and how to turn them into partners that we could have in enjoyable exchange with. For a Cancer Ascendant, Sun rules the 2nd house. So the Sun for Cancer Ascendant is interested in taking responsibility and gathering resources to be related to our needs. And 2nd house really is where we find our innate value, what we're truly worth. And it is going to be transiting the 6th house. So once again, we have an Arthur and an Arthur combination, as you'll see as we keep going around. So there's a bit of a sense of hard work here. It's doing the right thing. And it's going to be transiting through the field of Sagittarius, which is all about preaching truth. And here we have two hard-working transits together, the 2nd lord going through the 6th house. What can we use the passionate field of Sagittarius to be passionate about our innate value in service, the 6th house of service? Is this something that you have been craving to become more of use to those around you and take responsibility for something? Is Sagittarius going to give you that inspired vision of how to find your innate value through acts of service? For Leo Ascendant, Sun is our first. And the principle rules for our life path and our personality and our body. It's foundation to the chart, first lord. And it's going to be transiting through the 5th house. So once again, we find our trinal combination, first lord in the 5th house. This is perhaps a chance to connect with our destiny, these two trinal numbers. What's our highest vision for your life path? Using your true experience of your creative legacy. So using Sagittarius' tool of inspiration to really connect to what is the highest goal for your life path in terms of creativity, whether that is your children or whether that's another legacy that you're creating. For Virgo ascendants, the sun rules the 12th house, so it is associated with all of the emotion, the contemplations, the reflection, that silent going within, and also of sleeping, and that kind of breathing you do with sleepings. And it is going to be transiting through the 4th house and the auction house, continuing our pattern of the same lords and houses. So we have this 12th lord that's associated with expenses and losses that's consistent with ego work, but also of moksha, the way that we transcend things and let go of the level of life that we were playing at. And contemplation and sleep. What's our guidance vision for transcending through our sanctuary? Can we be inspired to transcend through the coziness of our home, of our sense of belonging, of our foundation? For Libra ascendants, we return to our other numbers because we have the 11th Lord heading through the 3rd house. Now, the 11th Lord is all in charge of our validation, recognition. So all of certificates and things, and if you're waiting for any documentation, the sun for a Libra ascendant is where we're going for that. But in another way, what is really getting at is our belongingness to the greater community, whether that's our community or our larger social network or at institutions. How do we truly belong? Because those certificates are just giving us a physical sign-on of some kind of belonging, whether it's like a passport, you belong to a nation, or whether it's your university degree, your sign-off that you are a member of engineering, lawyer, or whatever particular degree you got at university. So all of those certificates of recognition are giving us a validated sense of belonging. So this is what the 11th is aiming to achieve. The 11th house is also all about our gains. And this is why it is sometimes considered problematic in Vedic astrology, because it's the karma house, the house of exploring our desires with the highest number. And if we get too distracted by trying to gain physical or external validation, it can take us away from our true path. So this is the 11th Lord for everybody. The Libra, as we've gone through this year of understanding its sign, of course, we keep speaking for Libra about the 11th Lord. And here it's in the 3rd house. 3rd house can be about writing. And so I'm wondering about how can I write about my beliefs? How can you write about your beliefs and gain recognition for that? Giving you a sense of belonging or establishing and validating yourself in some way. I'm wondering whether those Libra ascendants out there would like to take this as it's in the 3rd house and we're in Sagittarius. Maybe you want to write about your beliefs, faith, and we publish that to the wider community. For Scorpio ascendant, we have the 10th Lord in the 2nd house. The 10th Lord is our 10th house being the house at top of the sky at the time of our birth, our most public, recognizable, most activated goal, can be associated with fame, but often in astrology, we have it as being our work. But the sun its mission is around that. It's around what we do out there. How do we act out there in the external world? And it's going to be transiting through the 2nd house of resources and responsibilities when it goes through Sagittarius. So this year is going to be helping us to find our passion and inspiration for our careers that will allow you to really value yourself and take full responsibility in this lifetime. So very powerful opportunity of the sun temple going to this year. For Sagittarius, ascending itself, the sign is the 9th Lord. And we find ourselves now with the 3rd trine. So the 9th Lord is going to be transiting the 1st house of Sagittarius. The 9th Lord is all about, its mission is all about me, what we devote ourselves to and our teachers and gurus. How can your beliefs and your faith have reached an even higher level this month and fortify your sense of self? So I've just said in the previous for Scorpio, it's a very powerful transit. This is also a really powerful one to tap into. If you're a Sagittarius, then you have the ninth lord going through the first house, all with that narrative meaning really being activated to fortify your sense of self and take that leap forward. As we know, we're coming up to Capricorns, Aquarius, and Pisces. For Capricorn's chasers, the sun is the eighth lord. So its mission is around motion and transformation, fearlessly plumbing the depths of all dark its knowledge, its transformational change, its other people's money. It talks to us about how much to trust and how much to be content. And we can use this transit through Sagittarius, which will take us eighth lord mission that's around transformation and change. And use the field of Sagittarius, fire signs, to ask ourselves what's our highest vision for transformative change that leads us to moksha. So Sagittarius might give the inspiration for us. For Aquarius, said the sun own the mission of the seventh lord is around our transactions, fair exchanges, around our relationships with our partner. With that one person that we are relying on to exchange with, whether that's in business or whether that's in our life, we're choosing this one relationship as a way, as a conduit to move energy between myself and this one other person, business partner, life partner. And it's going to be transiting through the 11th house, a house of gains, connection to the wider community. So we can ask ourselves, what is the highest vision for the partners? Maybe it's understanding our partner's need for recognition this month. Maybe they're the ones seeking a validation. So we might be able to see in depth how they adapt to the field of Sagittarius. And finally, for Pisces, the sun owns the sixth house, so it has a mission around service, around digestion, nutrition, around our daily routine of Pisces Ascendant, and it's going to be transiting through the 10th house of the Buddha and what we do outside of the house. So what is our vision for service? And how can I be inspired to that service upgrade that to and take it into my work, into what I learn? How can I have that humble daily attention and put into what I do with my work? These are some questions, a bit of a shorter podcast right today, some questions that we can reflect on as the sun goes through Sagittarius. And whatever sign ascending, it's a wonderful time to input with the fire of inspiration that is going to take us through these two Saturn signs that we have coming up next. So whatever practice you would like to practice to connect with the sun and with the finest inspiration, something that you're so passionate about, that you so know is true, that you'd be willing to race off of preaching about it and helping to teach others this inspired insight. Again, from the journal. Let's use that opportunity that Sagittarius are offering to us to build up our fire energy and inspirations so that we can go forward into the final signs of it. Lovely to be with you today. It was extra strange working. Do you look forward to cleaning it the next time that we're on the Vedic Astrology Podcast? Okay, bye everyone.